This is on her blindness part 2. So I was just saying that he's writing about his current situation, which is very poignant and touching. And then it talks about golden weather. So it's like she's moved into a golden age, which again has a reference to Roman literature. And many of the poets in from Roman period were described as writing within a golden age. The ground royal with leaf fall. I told her this, forgetting as she sat too weak to move, staring at nothing. Oh yes, I know, she said. It's lovely out there. So it's clear that she can't see, but she's saying she can. Or can she see in her memory? And here I think the poet starts to question the difference between reality and memory. And he does that through dialogue and through all of the, again, sensory imagery here and the use of the colour palette. Dying has made her no more sightless, but now she can't pretend. Her eyelids were closed in the coffin. It was up to us to believe she was watching somewhere in the end. So in this last section, we've got all this contrast and questioning between what is real, what is memory, what's more useful to us as human beings. What do we mean by seeing? Do we mean something we see with our eyes or something that we feel and we remember? And the idea that a person can see you in ways other than with their eyes, so through love or through knowing you or through memory, because there's a sense that he feels that his mum has continued on watching him and he can still see her. So even though her eyelids are physically closed, she is watching somewhere in the end. And notice that as the poem continues, you've got an increasing amount of enjambment, which suggests a kind of almost refusal to accept reality, bouncing from one idea to the next, just like the mum bounces from one place to another. But at the end, we get this end stop, this little sentence on its own, the only one, the only stanza with a singular line, which suggests finality. They have to accept that they can't keep moving. She's gone now. And there is a sense of a belief in an afterlife, which again mirrors Milton, because he was a very religious man and much of his poetry was to do with religion. That's very much in contrast with the mention of suicide earlier in the poem. There's a sense here more of religious peace. So a very touching poem about the relationship between a son and his mother, and a really interesting discussion of how it feels to be a person with a deteriorating condition and how you can still find beauty in illness or even in death.